What's up, everybody? Night of Champions has ended. We still have the same WWE champion. Cody Rhodes and Jade Cargill are your king and queens of the ring with a new U.S. champion and much, much more off the latest installment of the King of the Ring premium live event for the WWE. Started today at 12 o'clock. Um, and just got done watching it. They're doing the post stuff on there. I usually hang out to see, especially what Triple H had to say, but they're not really doing the press conference situation there. So, uh, have a lot to get into. Of course, this is the first true live we're doing here. Did a little teaser / prediction of Night of Champions on yesterday on Friday. Still do not have the audio podcast up and going. Hope to have that going by the end of the weekend. And of course, if you are checking out on the live stream, please leave a comment. I will talk about it. We're not going to go super long. I said that 20 minutes, maybe 25, and then we're going to get on out of here. And I just really thinking, how are we going to start the recap of Night of Champions? I think just go in order is probably the best way to do it. We could hit the high spots, and there's some of these matches I won't talk long on. And I was kind of surprised, to be honest with you, that we started with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. That one kind of caught me off guard. I was wondering, okay, maybe we would start off with the Queen of the Ring final between Jade Cargill and Asuka, but that's not where we went. We went with Cody and Orton. And this match was interesting because both guys are extremely over. Fans were into both Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Their theme songs got sung as they come to the ring, all that stuff. And then early on, they did an angle in the match where Randy Orton hurt his back. Of course, we know that was an injury. It took him out for a year and a half, and they really played into that. There's been some matches I've noticed with Randy Orton that he really has played into the back injury, and it adds another layer to the match because at the end of the day, wrestling is storytelling. The two performers are telling a story in the ring, and then kind of surprising, we saw a viciousness out of Cody Rhodes where he went after the back, pretty much wrapped Randy around the ring post. So we saw a side out of Cody here that we hadn't seen before because remember WrestleMania he loses to John Cena, and we didn't. He hesitated using the belt. John Cena used the belt and all that stuff to win the belt. And Cody went after Randy Orton with the bat. So that was an interesting element to the match. Plenty of RKOs in this. Randy Orton hit on Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes kicks out. And then, of course, Randy gets the chair, distracts referee. Then he takes the padding off the turnbuckle he was going to use against Cody. They both tried to hit each other with that. And then eventually, Randy Orton in the ribs hits the top turnbuckle. Then Cody hits Crossroads to win the match. And now I saw some stuff with Randy Orton in this match and after the match, really after the match, just the way he reacted to the loss. And obviously he was not happy. We saw that through his emotions, his facial expressions as Cody is in the ring, getting the crown, doing the interview that he is the king of the ring. We saw Randy very upset. So I'm kind of wondering, we've seen this good guy, Randy Orton, since he come back a year and a half ago. And now you look at his character, where is it going now? I feel like we're going to slowly get a Randy Orton heel turn because I think a lot of people expect now we're going into SummerSlam and Cody Rhodes is getting a shot at the WWE Championship, trying to get his belt back. Maybe we have a situation where now Randy Orton turns on Cody Rhodes fully and we have a big blowout between them two. Cody Rhodes, after the match, says he's getting the ball back. Of course, Michael Cole is always calling Cody Rhodes the quarterback. So where they go with this, and my thing is, if you put the belt back on Cody Rhodes, then you got to do something different too. I mean, we can't do the same thing we did for a whole year where he had the belt. You got to do some different matchups there. But I see Randy Orton, my kind of like post-match analysis, where I see the storyline going. I see Cody Rhodes going. Obviously, he's going to go compete for the championship at SummerSlam. And then next, I think Randy Orton's turning heel here pretty soon. We followed that up with Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. It was a fun match. Both women did a good job in this one. We had some interference from Roxanne Perez, which that got thwarted by Rhea Ripley. And then Rhea Ripley hits the Riptide off the table that Raquel had set up basically on the corner of one of the ring posts, basically the top turnbuckle. And Rhea was on top of it. And when she was on top of the table, I wasn't thinking she was going to use the Riptide off of it. I was wondering in some way, was she going to try to put Raquel through that? And I got to thinking, I'm watching this. But I mean, this is a spot we've really never seen before. So I was kind of wondering when she did that. Okay, they had to rehearse this, right? I mean, there had to be some kind of practice or kind of a trial run with this because I've never, maybe back in the day, ECW did something like that. But yeah, I was very intrigued by that move, and then she wins, and Rhea gets to win. Move forward, you got to think she's going to be a factor on Raw in that for that women's championship. Raquel still holding both women's tag team championships. Of course, Liv Morgan being out, and I saw a report or story earlier in the week that WWE may just get rid of the women's tag team championship altogether. So, does she get a new partner? Does those belts just secretly go away? I'm kind of interested in what they do. Or you kind of figure you do have a storyline in there where her and Roxanne just kind of take up, and then when Liv comes back, boom, you got a rivalry. I feel like when Liv comes back, she's going to be super over as a babyface. I don't think she'll be in the heel mode. I appreciate that, Charles. We've had a few comments here on the show so far. Not comments, but a few viewers. Like I said, this is new. I don't expect this to be blowing up right away. Just somebody that enjoys wrestling. I want to talk about it here on the channel. All right, Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. This was another one. Of course, again, I said yesterday, I felt like Sami Zayn would win King of the Ring. Obviously, that didn't happen. He would go on, beat Gunther, Seth cashed it in. We'll get into Seth later. Good match between the two. Obviously, they're telling a story here where Karrion Kross is trying to pretty much push Sami over the edge, get him to snap, I guess embrace hate in a way, and not be the good guy. And he kept taunting Sami in the match, and he was doing some in the corner, clothesline after clothesline, taunting Sami. Eventually, Sami just turned around, followed him, and hit him with Helluva Kick for the 1, 2, 3. I want to see where this goes now, especially with Karrion Kross. A lot of goodwill for him right now with the fans. Does this hurt it? He probably could have used a win, but the fact they were in Saudi Arabia, we were not going to see Sami lose that one without a doubt. The United States Championship match between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Now, so far, I'm pretty good. I predicted Cody to win. I predicted Rhea to win, and I predicted Sami. This is one I got wrong. Actually, this is the only one I got wrong of the 6. So I got 5 of the 6 predictions right. But Solo and Jacob Fatu, and this was a good match, back and forth between the two of them. Solo jumped on Jacob early, but then Jacob made the comeback, and then they just kind of went back and forth, and really felt like Jacob Fatu was getting ready for a win, and then here comes interference. What do we call Solo's group? Obviously, we can't call them the Bloodline. They're not the Bloodline. We got rid of that way back when, after the story between Roman and Solo ended. But he's got a crew with him. JC Mateo came out. He basically was there to distract the referees. And Tonga Loa makes his return. We have not seen him since Survivor Series. He'd been out for a little bit. And then we get Hikaloa comes out, and he makes his television debut. I think he had done some house shows. 7-footer. He puts Jacob Fatu on the table, throws him back in. Solo hits Fatu with the Samoan spike, and Solo gets his first singles championship on the main roster. He had a run with a championship back when he was in NXT before he made his debut with the Bloodline and all that stuff way back when. But His first one there. So I picked Jacob Fatu to win this, but I see what WWE is doing here. They want to continue the feud between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. If Jacob Fatu had won this match, retained the U.S. Championship, that's it. That's the end of it. That's the end of the feud. You got to find something else for Jacob Fatu. You can't continue unless you would have had like an assault after the match with Solo and all his guys. But now that you had Jacob Fatu lose the belt to Solo, he's now got 3 guys with him, with Mateo, with Tongaloa, and now Hikaloa. You've got those 3 guys. So he's got 4 guys with him. Now Jacob Fatu is going to have to go find him some people to help him. Obviously, he's got Jimmy on his side. I wonder if Jay gets involved in this next. But then who's the next person to get involved? Because then you would have 3 on 4. You need a 4th person. Look, there's plenty of people in the Fatu family to jump in on this. So we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward with that. But that's going to be interesting. And now you kind of keep this thing going. And eventually you could put the U.S. belt, back on Jacob Fatu. I don't quite think you're taking the belt off of him because you want to put him in the world championship thing. That's just kind of loaded at the top right now. So I do think eventually Jacob Fatu is going to get the belt back. But the way of doing this, having Solo beat him and the way he did it, where it was a 4-on-1, all that stuff, you keep this feud going for a good bit. All right. Then we get the Queen of the Ring. I'm not going to stay on this long. Jade Cargill wins over Asuka. It was good. You're in the ring with a veteran like Asuka. She's going to make Jade look good. I just noticed there was no reaction to Jade winning this match. And that's not good. You would think, okay, have Jade win, then moving forward, she will win the Women's Championship. But now I look at it, okay, that's not... I don't know. What's WWE going to do? Because now you look at SummerSlam, have her go up against Tiffany. Tiffany's going to be the favorite by the fans in that one. Do you continue on this path with Jade? Now, we're in Saudi Arabia, so Jade's going to probably get a different reaction here in the United States when they get back. That's true. But if there's any of this that lingers into that, and she's not getting a great reaction or reaction at all, it's one thing to get booed. But she didn't get a reaction at all when they were handing her the crown, being Queen of the Ring and all that stuff. And that's got to be concerning. So if you're playing, and we know Triple H is all about long-term storytelling. So now you have to take this, what you had here with Jade. I guess if you still want to go with her winning the championship, win it, and then you continue her storyline with Naomi. Naomi cashes in at SummerSlam. So Jade doesn't really get a full-on run with the belt. She wins. I don't know. The no reaction thing was very concerning for me. It was an okay match. Expected finish here. I didn't think Asuka was going to win and get Queen of the Ring and get a championship match. I thought Jade would. But and obviously they believe a lot in what Jade Cargill can do. But also the no reaction thing. That just really stuck out to me. That's the first thing when I see. I've got them all wrote down here, all the matches. When I see that match, that result, that's what I see. No reaction. And that's got to be concerning if you're WWE. All right, then finally, the main event was CM Punk versus John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship. I don't like that they call it that. Okay, it was one thing when that was the one championship, world championship, but you got the world heavyweight world championship too. I don't like the undisputed part, but it is what it is. That's what they're going to continue to call it. Obviously, everybody expect John Cena to win. How we got there was quite interesting. I did wonder how they were going to find their way here. It was a tremendous match. Back and forth. The crowd was in it. They were for it. You heard some Let's Go Cena, CM Punk chants back and forth with the fans. So both guys, it's kind of like the Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton match. Both guys were over there in the match. Both guys had support. The fans wanted to see him. They were happy to see him. So that was it. They're happy to see these two guys in the ring together. I'll be honest with you. John Cena kind of paused a little bit when he was at the top of the platform before he ran into the ring. And I saw that. I said, okay, or not run, walk. I said, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? A little hesitation. No, he did the normal where he puts the towel over his head, and the last time is now. But I was hoping for that. But again, good back and forth between these two. Cena hit multiple AAs on CM Punk. He had the STF applied. We saw some go to sleeps, and then the referee gets knocked out inadvertently. So it wasn't like John Cena went for that. Now, there was a point in the match where John Cena does go and gets the belt as he was going to hit CM Punk with it. He didn't do it. So I said, okay. Is John kind of going back? Is the old John Cena coming back? The real John Cena, the good guy John Cena. He didn't do that. And then, of course, later on was the inadvertent hit of the referee. And then that's when all chaos ensued. Punk hits a GTS, and then we're seeing no referee. So then Punk's waving, pull no referee, pull no referee. I'm going to say this, just to go ahead and get this out of the way. This referee was out forever. If somebody was knocked out for this long, you need to come get paramedics, ambulance. He needs medical attention. This is not good. Nobody stays on the ground that long from getting hit the way he got hit. But we see a lot in wrestling now, so that's just kind of how it is. But I noticed that a little bit on there. But anyways, all right. So he waves on the people to come to the ring, and the referee, Seth Rollins' music hits. I guess he made the trip to Saudi Arabia just to attempt the cash in, just in case. Hey, you got to be ready for these things, and he was ready to cash in if he needed to. So we see that he comes out, and he's not in wrestling gear at all. And usually, and Michael Cole said this on the broadcast, that you don't want to see a referee with him. Not that. He's not in wrestling gear. And he sends Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. They go after CM Punk. They attack him. And then Punk's getting ready, calls out a referee. Charles Robinson comes running down full sprint. We've seen this before with him. And then as he was about to get to the ring, John Cena knocks him down. There's a little confrontation between John Cena and Seth Rollins. And Cena's basically saying, you're going to cash in on me. And kind of see a little bit of shades of the John Cena. And really seeing Punk and John Cena work together to kind of fight off what was going on. We saw Penta and Sami Zayn come out fighting off Braun Breaker. We saw that. And then we have an embrace with CM Punk and John Cena. I was like, oh, they shake hands, they hug in the middle of the ring. They just basically helped each other. Look, we're still in the match. The match has not even been decided yet. They hug, then we get that same stare into the camera from John Cena. Man knows where his camera's at. We get the same stare as he did when he hugged Cody at Elimination Chamber. Punk knew what was coming. He's about to hit the GTS on Cena before Cena could kick him between the legs. And then Seth Rollins hits CM Punk with the briefcase, hits him with the curb stomp. Then Cena, aware of the situation, takes advantage, throws Seth Rollins out of the ring, and then pins CM Punk. 1, 2, 3. And he's still the champ. Yes. John Cena's still the champ. And again, like I said, ref was out forever. I wrote that down. He was out forever, but it happens. So now Cena is the champ still. So we would all assume that we are going to see Cena versus Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. But it does seem like we're getting hints at John Cena turning babyface once again, away from the heel character. Again, I brought it up yesterday, Friday, when I did my predictions. It felt like during the John Cena pipe bomb that he said the mood is changing. The crowd was cheering him. He goes, they know. Thought we were getting closer to it. It seemed like we were getting closer to it here with the stopping the referee, not using the belt, shaking Punk's hand, hugging him. Then that stone cold look on Cena's face came over once again. So I feel like we're getting close. Will we get it at SummerSlam? What's the plan here? Does Cody get the belt back? is there shenanigans? I'm pretty sure there's shenanigans. The whole crowd, when Seth Rollins came out, was doing what he's doing. One, I was thinking, okay, well, we got this guy that flew to Saudi Arabia for no reason because he's not in the match. Maybe LA Knight did as well. They said he's out after taking all those tsunamis a few weeks ago. No LA Knight. And I was thinking, okay, maybe Roman Reigns makes his return at Night of Champions. Maybe he flew to Saudi Arabia. Also, that did not happen. So we got we're a little over a month. Look, we're about to hit July. So, and then SummerSlam is in early August, the first weekend of August. If Roman Reigns is going to come back, it's got to be soon, right? I'm kind of targeting Monday Night Raw to see if that's the case. If that does happen, does Roman Reigns return then? See, I thought this could have been an opportunity. It doesn't make sense. Why would you just? It's a lot last year, the time when AJ Styles was just in Australia to attack LA Knight. He didn't have a match on the event. But Steph walks away. Him and Punk still have business now. So he calls CM Punk the championship. So obviously Punk's still gonna have an issue with Seth. And then Roman's you gotta say, is he coming back? So what are we going to do with these three once again? Do we run it back with another triple threat? What happens with Punk? What's his next step? I feel like Sammy and Breaker, you got to do something there. Penta is getting involved with them guys too. LA Knight. Of course, we got Saturday night's main event coming up in 2 weeks. Of course, the main event that is Goldberg and Gunther. But we're going to have other things going on with that. So a lot of parts and pieces here with the WWE, and are very interesting in what they do in the coming weeks and the next months with SummerSlam come with a 2-night event SummerSlam. So we shall see what's going to happen. All right, that's it. We got a few people that checked out the stream. Again, it's new, so I'm not expecting to be blown up with comments quite yet. But just, the more we do, hopefully the more we do. Once we get the audio podcast up, will probably help as well. Anyways, I appreciate anybody that checked this video out. Me just kind of going over Night of Champions. I don't know. We'll have another episode or another pod later on in the week with any big angles. Probably focus on if anything big happens on Monday Night Raw, that angle-wise, I will jump in here and do a video, 10 to 20 minutes. The PLE reactions and comments and thoughts may go a little bit longer, but the normal videos will be 10, 15 minutes. Just me giving my thoughts. Also, go check out my work at the Auburn Wire and also Last Word on College Football. And remember, be on with Dothan Wolves Football on 96.9, The Legend. Anyways, appreciate it. Talk to y'all later on in the week. See what happens on Monday Night Raw as we get closer and closer to SummerSlam. Until next time, bye-bye.